Hi everyone, Bradley here with Servers.com. I'm with Marcel Sandoval from Eskimi. Marcel, can you walk us through what Eskimi do and what you provide to your customers?
Yep. So we are in the advertising space and we offer services for publishers and advertisers. And what makes us different is that we operate in emerging markets or high growth markets. So Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, and Africa.
So AI has gained significant momentum, particularly over the past 6 to 12 months. We're obviously seeing more of it in the ad tech industry. From your and Eskimi's perspective, how do you see that impacting advertisers and publishers over the next 12 to 24 months?
Yeah, so I think there's two angles to it. There's how AI is at the service of ad tech companies. So there's a lot more room for innovation. There's a lot of things that we can do at a speed that we could not do before. But then also from the publisher side, we can see already a decline in web traffic. I think the consumer patterns are changing. And in the end, advertising is about showing ads to the consumers. So if the consumer patterns are changing with AI, then we'll have to see how advertising looks like in the coming 12 months.
So what are the specific requests that you are seeing from your customers, and how that relates to the infrastructure that you guys are using?
So in the end, with AI, the resources that you need to process things are much bigger. And I would say there's two parts of it, the compute resources to process everything. But then also there's a lot more demand for being data driven. So you need to generate a lot more data, a lot more storage. And as you know, ad tech generates billions of events, and now we have to enhance even that. So, now that AI can be so powerful, you need to have the more data you have, the better, in order to make the AI more powerful.
So focusing on DSPs and SSPs, are there specifics in how AI is affecting their operations at the moment?
So we see, I would say, on the creative side, the asset generation, so generating banner, generating videos, you can do that at scale at a very, very cheap price that you couldn't before. So creativity is booming, but there's also the risk of taking out the human element too much in that creativity. And then also algorithms have much more power than they've ever had. And so if it was already a trend to move to advertiser outcomes, now that AI can help do it better, it's even more of a push that we see in the industry.
The publishers are more interested in when it comes to AI in particular and how that affects their capability to,
Yeah. So I think AI, interesting in the world of publishers, it's maybe a bit more separated to advertising, and it goes to the core of what advertising is, which is monetization of content. And so advertisers are now, thinking about how to position themselves in LLMs. But what publishers care about is how do they get fairly compensated by the usage of their content. So it's kind of ironically finding an alternative to advertising, because if an LLM gives you the content without the user visiting the page, how do you actually make money out of that you can use to pay your journalist?
So finally, what specific needs are your customers requesting as it relates to AI, and what does that mean that you guys are working on over the next 12 months?
So in general, Eskimi, we have always been a provider of creativity and innovation for our advertisers and for our agencies especially. And so everyone is kind of trying to find what does AI actually look like and kind of practical applications of AI. And so, we've recently released a new contextual product that allows for full customization of what content is suitable for the brand. We're working also on asset generation, as I was mentioning before, but also tying that back to the context and making it dynamic. So in the end, everyone wants a flash effect, let's say, that they can present to the consumer and to the brand. And AI, again, I'm a product person, so I like to think of AI as a tool to solve a problem, not as something to flash around. And in terms of innovation, it's quite unique what we can do with AI now.
Amazing. Marcel, thank you very much for having the conversation with us.
Thank you for having me.